All right, let's dive into ESG. It's this three-letter framework that's really changing the way we think about business success. We're going to focus on the two pillars that, impact our daily lives the most, the environmental and the social.
So let's start with a big question. For the longest time, the scorecard for a business was pretty simple, right? It was all about profit. But think about it. What if a company makes billions but pollutes rivers or treats its employees terribly? Is that really a win? That exact question is causing a huge shift in the business world.
And the answer that's starting to take shape comes down to that one little acronym, ESG. It stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance. And it's basically a powerful new tool for looking at a company's total impact, way beyond just the financial numbers. Now, ESG is built on three main pillars. In this explainer, we're going to zero in on the two that most directly affect us, as employees, as customers, as people living in a community. And those are the environmental and social pillars. Okay, let's get into it, starting with the E in ESG. This pillar is all about a company's relationship with the environment. We're talking about its real physical impact on our planet. The environmental pillar really asks a simple but pretty profound question. Is this company being a good steward of our planet? It looks at everything from how much energy they use to how much waste they produce, and it holds them accountable for their environmental footprint. And this isn't some vague, fuzzy goal. It gets really specific, focusing on three key areas: managing energy use to be more efficient, actively working to control pollution, and putting smart waste management strategies in place. The whole reduce, reuse, and recycle thing. And here's what's so important. This isn't just about making empty promises. It's about a concrete three-step process. First, you have to actually assess your environmental impact. Second, you have to implement real changes to get more efficient. And third, you have to make sustainability a core part of how the company operates, day in and day out. Now let's pivot to the S in ESG. If the E is all about the planet, the S is all about people. It's the human element of business. So the social pillar dives into a company's entire network of relationships, with its own employees, with its suppliers, its customers, and the communities it calls home. It's asking a pretty simple question. How does this company treat its people and its neighbors? And what's so interesting here is just how wide the scope is. This pillar focuses on creating real diversity and inclusion, making sure there are fair labor standards all the way down the supply chain, and building strong, positive connections with the local community. And again, action is everything. This means actually fostering an inclusive culture where people feel like they belong, putting systems in place to ensure labor practices are ethical, and developing programs that genuinely support and engage with the local community. So we've looked at these two incredibly powerful pillars, one for the planet and one for people. Now let's see what happens when they come together, because that's when they really redefine what it means for a business to be successful. And here's the key takeaway. ESG isn't just some new checklist for being a good corporate citizen. No, it's a strategic framework for creating a much more resilient, more meaningful kind of value, one that goes way beyond short-term profits. This really highlights the shift in thinking. The traditional model, it was almost always focused on short-term profit for shareholders. But this new model, this idea of lasting value, is all about long-term sustainability for everyone, the employees, customers, the community, and the shareholders, by actively contributing to society, not just taking from it. And this quote just captures the whole idea perfectly. By getting out ahead of environmental and social issues, companies aren't just being responsible. They're actually building a stronger foundation for their own future and creating value that really, truly lasts. So this brings us to one final thought for you to take away. What's the very first step, that first foundation stone that you or your organization could put in place right now to start building a more sustainable future?